Greetings, humanity, and welcome to. Welcome to Cooking Chat. That seems to be actually what's happening right now. We're talking about all manner of recipes. But aside from that, also welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Age of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. There's a lot of lunch products come out of this game. I think many of those. Something I do want to just mention is that there is right now the channel is doing a campaign that's primarily being it's a donation drive for the Bale Project. It's actually mostly helmed over on our Sprawl campaign, but for anyone who wants to check that out, that is Team Phyllis doing that. If anyone wants to make donations to that, we have a goal of 500, which we've not quite hit yet, but if anyone wants to dive in on that. I am also kind of trying to, on my own, sort of raise awareness for Campaign Zero, which folks can, I've also put the link in chat for that if anyone wants to go check that out. That's an organization dedicated to ending police violence. So folks want to check that out to see the different processes they use to try to get that done. Then that would be much appreciated. But let us go ahead then and go around and say hi to everybody. It's been a little while. Let's say hi to folks, see who they are and who they're playing, and we will start, as always, with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello. My name is Djinnaya. I use she/her pronouns, and we discovered before the game that I'm okay with venison ice cream and not okay with octopus ice cream. And I will be playing Shah Gamelon, an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries. And Shah Gamelon also uses she/her pronouns.
Awesome. Excellent. I wonder if octopi like ice cream themselves. Probably not. They can't consume it the same way, but maybe, who knows.
They can, however, taste things with their tentacles, so...
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be cool.
And I might be down with ice cream that is liked by an octopus rather than ice cream that is made from an octopus.
I feel like it would probably be like shrimp flavored or something. Octopus liked it.
So when you're in the frozen food section of your local supermarket next, make sure you look for that seal of octopus approval. I don't have enough hands to do it the way they would, but you know what I mean. But let's move on to Wilde. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm Wilde Engineer, he, they pronouns. And now I want to research squid ink ice cream. I feel like that's a thing. I am playing Shantano. They're an itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments, and they use they, them pronouns.
Excellent. What's Shantano's favorite flavor of ice cream?
Probably shots of glass. They like the
Makes
crunch.
sense. It's completely transparent. And now let us... I don't know what's wrong with me today, but we're just going to keep going. We're going to head over to Arras. Hello.
Hello, hi, I'm Arras. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm going to be playing Aroshka Ruzik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, whose pronouns are she, her.
Awesome. Does Aroshka have a favorite flavor of ice cream?
Probably whatever she thinks would unsettle other people the most. It'll vary from situation, depending on who she's hanging out with. She thinks it'll annoy you. It's probably her favorite flavor of ice cream.
What ice cream does this person hate?
Let's
Let's
eat
get
that.
some of that.
Wait,
Love
is this the first Eroshka or like current Eroshka?
I mean, Kara Taroshka is pretty contrarian, but just in a quiet way. Like, she straight up dresses like a witch, specifically because she knows that it will annoy the Vances.
Yeah, I feel like original Eroshka did something similar where she probably was also wanted just, enjoyed making people uncomfortable. She probably did it differently.
It might depend. If she really likes you, she probably won't bother. But
Yeah.
if she hates you, she's like, oh, I'm going to specifically piss this person off.
I feel like that's a trait that continued. That actually. And now let us head over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns. And for this campaign, I play Mac the Husk, who uses they, them pronouns. It's been so long, I forgot what he is. Yeah, he's the the formerly itinerant enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica, who provides a vessel for spirits.
Oh, I've just seen the link to the squid ice cream. Squid ink ice cream. Oh, good lord. That is a thing. That is definitely a thing. I will look at that later. Right now I'm running a game. Does Mac like ice cream at all?
Yeah, but usually he doesn't get to pick the flavors. There's this whole thing where spirits who want to get ice cream and use him as a vessel will just basically force him to experience
Oh no!
whatever ice creams they like.
Oh god!
But I personally like ginger ice cream. It's very hard to find though.
I haven't had that very often. When I have had it before, I think it is good. It is good. Okay, and finally, let us say hello to Danielle. Hello.
Hello, I'm Danielle at RiRacontor on Twitter. I use she, her pronouns, and so does my character, Vor Maravanas, aka Vor. Vor is a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds. And before you ask, Jim, of course she likes ice cream. I feel like Vor's favorite ice cream flavor fluctuates based on what's popular in Saturnine at the time. Right now, but regardless of what it is always is something with a little bit of a kick to it.
So ice cream that kicks you. That's good to know.
Yes, ice cream that kicks you. No, it's probably like ice cream too, with like a little bit of something that you can light on fire, a little bit of like alcohol or
Incendiary ice cream.
incendiary
That's
ice cream.
good. Sometimes used in frontal assaults. It's not only is it ordnance, but it's also a dessert. Excellent.
Does she just go up to the counter and says, "What goes well with champagne?" And just holds up her food.
Honestly, yes.
Brilliant.
Her food is never far from her.
Excellent. Awesome. Okay. Well, before we dive fully into madness here, like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we will fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. And finally, if we are exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that is particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let everyone know we're okay and that we're good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. And everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. And there it is. So, it's been a little while. As I recall, there was a library. There were pterodactyls. There was a hunt for a particular book, of which you found the original copy after doing a few things to the structure of the library. And the pterodactyls were not terribly pleased about that, but you know, these things happen. That I think is most of it. I'm trying to remember what the book was. And And I'm sure I probably wrote it down here somewhere.
It was the story of the hunter.
The story of the hunter, yes.
I took notes.
Yay! Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so that one, I cannot remember why you were looking for it, but I know that it's got something to do with stuff going on.
Because that scroll or whatever told me that it might know something about the unwritten.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. There we go. All right. That's definitely a thing. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's one of those things where I say to myself, Jim, I'm sure you'll have time to look up some things about that are going on later in the campaign between now and your next session. I mean, it's going to have plenty of time. And then future Jim stares back at him balefully. But there are a few things. There are a few things we can work on. Okay, so a number of you have escaped from the frog after the frog. Their library was inside a frog, which is inside a train, on which Mac had been busily going and apprehending a thief. Well, rather, getting an angel to busily apprehend a thief. Which they did. The Anak, was that the name of the angel? I wrote that down. It could be. That was a thing. Where they found the thief. They managed to corner the thief, and the thief was captured, actually, in fact, by a tree in the garden car, and left to hang upside down. And then they went and they questioned the thief, and the thief explained why it is that they were able to do what they had done, because they have a tinier version of themselves that they can employ from time to time. But the thief did overhear, whilst hiding in the rafters of one of the box cars, that those members of the Church of Midnight that are on that quartet of Midnight that are on the train are going to be getting ready to do some kind of ritual. As soon as they throw someone off the train, they're going to do this ritual that will involve just changing everybody's luck, making their luck more fortunate and making everyone's less fortunate. That's their plan. They have an urn, I believe, a silver urn that around which they're setting up this ritual in this boxcar, and it's a thing we don't know when they're going to do it, but we do know that they're waiting for the train to go fast, so they're probably waiting until you're getting on flat land, so that's probably going to be sometime tomorrow. But that is where we are, I believe. So the Shah had already come leaping out of the frog. Into the train proper. I know that Shantano had picked up another book, has checked out a book called The Mystery of the Collapsing Conundrum. Oddly enough, exactly the book that they were looking for. Exactly the topic they were looking for. So they are, they've got that. I don't know if they actually made it out of the frog yet or not. Here's an excellent question. Hands up everyone who's still inside the frog.
I was at the desk getting a library card.
Okay.
But I had just gotten my library card at the end of the last session.
I was just about to check out.
Okay, yeah. So Eroshka and Shah made it out of the frog back into the bar where Mac and the angel are drinking. And Shantano and Vor are still inside the frog, where there's a lot of, running around, flapping about, and squawking as the librarians are trying to deal with the situation with the shelves.
Yep. I'd put myself on the wait list for the other copy of The Story of the Hunter.
That's right.
And I found out that's who has the book currently.
That's right. You did find that out. So the elderly pterodactyl behind the desk, the librarian, she gives you your library cards, and she gets your books set up. She asks if you want to receive the occasional flyer or not. That's optional.
Oh yes, please.
So she'll put you down for flyers.
Can't wait to see what form those take.
And she'll basically get you both your books checked out, or she'll get you your library card. Shantano, she gets you the book checked out that you picked up. Is there anything else you want to do inside the library at this point?
I was just gonna leave after all the chaos my friends caused.
Yeah, there's rather a lot of there's a lot of running around and repair magic being employed at the moment to try to fix the shelves.
Yeah, that figures. I'll just kind of, give the pterodactyls their space as they fix the library and go back to the entrance that we came in from.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, Shantano's just gonna, try to check out the book and walk out calmly.
Yeah, exactly. Calmly. Like we feel no responsibility for this because we didn't do it.
No.
And yeah, we don't want them to blame us.
None of this was our fault.
When I was
I've
looking
never
at
done anything wrong in my life.
That's right.
I was in a totally different section.
Vor and Shantano just have a really pleasant, nice conversation, like nothing is wrong. We head out of the library.
Yes, they actually have a pretty efficient library system here, don't they?
They do, don't they? I'm very excited about this library card. I wonder what kinds of books I can get. I mean, this library is so big.
Once the book's back in stock, do they deliver it to you, or?
I don't know, but we're gonna find out. I put my name on the wait list for a book. We'll see. I mean, I also signed up for the flyers, which who knows what that'll look like.
Ooh, maybe they'll be hand delivered by a librarian.
Ooh, that would be lovely. I wonder if you can get the books delivered too.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we will.
One never knows. So you emerge from the frog. Basically, this coming down this, the carpeted lane between these shelves. You step down out of the frog, and back into the train car. It is evening, and Mac and Shah and Aroshka are out here, hanging out with what looks like an angel at the end of the bar, who seems to be several shots deep.
Vor's gonna walk up to Mac and just lean down and be like, "Can I have a word with you quickly?"
And another thing about being a vessel, okay? Oh yeah, okay. He stumbles out of his stool and follows Vor.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how drunk is Mac right now?
He's a good 7 or 8.
Cool. This is great. This is gonna go wonderfully. Vor just looks them up and down, like just surveying the drunkenness, and says, feel like I should wait to tell you this, but it also seems quite important.
Well, I mean, I think I've got like another 2 or 3 more in me, and if you think it's really bad, then, well, I just need an excuse for the remaining 2 or 3 drinks.
All right, I'll give you the excuse. We went in to find that book, to find some information about the Unwritten, and the book that could help us is currently checked out by none other than One-Eyed Manfred. Isn't that his name? One-Eyed Manfred? Something like that.
Maybe it will be after Mac has finished with him, but
I know he has some kind of epithet, but I just wrote Manfred in my notes. So anyway, Manfred.
Oh, I know that son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm aware.
That's awesome. I don't know if I'm really ready to tackle Dark-Eyed Manfred yet.
See, I was close. Yeah, well, I don't recommend doing it now when you're, multiple drinks in. But do you know any reason?
You're not the boss of me. Okay?
I'm not saying you want to. I'll back you up. Look, and Vor pulls out her champagne flute and just like chugs 2 in a row. Look. Sympathy drinks. But I don't know that it's a great plan.
No, I've been trying to gather power in order to be able to fight him. Loser Mano. I'm the Mano, by the way.
Of course you are.
So, but I'm not really quite there yet.
Do you know any reason why Manfred would want a book like that with information on the Unwritten? I don't know what your grudge is.
I don't know either, but it really sounds like a good idea to kill him because, nobody really likes him.
I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily validation for killing someone.
Well, let's ask the Angel of Justice over here.
All right, we'll get a second opinion. Third opinion.
Mac just puts his shoulder around the Angel of Justice like, hey.
Guilty!
Well, there you go.
All right, I've been out
Gotta die. I knew I could count on you, man.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Talking about a guy named Dark-Eyed Manfred.
Oh, he definitely sounds guilty.
Yeah. I mean, if he was called Doe-Eyed Manfred, I think we might be able to let him go. But no.
Can't go messing. No, not even then. Can't go messing around with Doe's eyes. The hunt would hate it.
That is true. They are very finicky about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you think of anything, Mac, let me know.
I certainly will. And he just points down at his drink and looks at the bartender. Another one of those train thingies.
I'll pull out a chair at the table and just start slugging back champagne. I've got to catch up.
Well, just so you'll know, we are almost out of train thingies. We do have a few left, but this will be the last round we can provide with these specialty ice cubes. I'm afraid. I'm afraid the rest have been consumed. They say, just sort of looking at everyone in the room.
All of them.
That's fine. Do you have that coffee where the creamy froth breaks out into gladiator paddles?
We have sort of turns around, looks at looks under the table. We have one that breaks out into a dance fight.
Okay, we gotta go next round with that.
Okay.
But make sure that we get like enough to get like a good chorus line going into it.
Oh right, yes, no, we have we have a thing for that. Yeah, absolutely. How many are we getting?
However many it takes.
Right, clear the bar. And the at this point Corian very quickly grabs Unger up from Unger the frog up from off the bar and lifts him down. So they set up these. You see them starting to set up a series of cappuccino mugs lining from one end of the bar to the other. I feel as though now is an excellent time to draw a card. So the card that has been drawn is the Imperator. This is the Sovereign of Visions. Meanings: wisdom in war, turning points, deciding factors. Sometimes conflict is needed, and the Imperator believes that keeping a level head and using intellect and wisdom rather than rage or brute force paves the path to victory. Of course, not every crisis point lies within a literal battle. Some conflicts take other forms, stressful situations where some are prone to make rash decisions based on emotion, but not the Imperator. Follow his example. The Imperator is the sovereign of the Visions family. He is the leader, an advisor, a teacher, and a mighty warrior. So this is going to be a tactical cappuccino foam dance battle that is going to take place. So the bartender reaches back and they put a record on, and they put the needle down on the Victrola toward the back of the bar. And you hear this music playing, this kind of old-timey music, kind of sort of old-timey sort of jazz-like stuff, and sort of 1920s dance music. And the bartender grabs one of the grabs this thing that looks like a cross between a can of compressed air and a blowtorch, flips it up and over, and from out the end comes a series of foam that comes to rest upon the top of each mug that is filled with coffee. I understand this is not how cappuccino is made on Earth. This is not Earth. And you can hear each. That's the thing, because you can see and hear. You can see each mug vibrating, and you can hear the thing happening in each mug as this happens. It's like a flamethrower, only it's throwing foam, really. And the foam, upon taking flight, each sort of dollop of foam kind of bursts to life, sort of lies flat for a second, then bursts to life, flipping over, doing kind of a backflip, for it now has, each little unit of foam now has a back of some kind. And the foam begins dancing. Each foam representing a creature that has approximately 4 legs and 4 arms. And they begin doing these strange kind of like acrobatic things. You see them sort of form a conga line, and they kind of come and they're sort of hopping around, just kind of doing a strange pass back and forth across the coffee mugs. They do this thing that's almost like it's not exactly a square dance because you need a circle for that, but these things where they kind of take each other's hands and sort of dance around. And then when they come to a particular point, a high point where the music pauses, they all haul back and punch each other in the face. And then that causes them sort of a bit of spinning. And this is kind of now turns into sort of the... if anyone has seen, and I believe it's West Side Story, where you see this kind of thing. Perhaps you also see it in Oklahoma. I can't remember clearly. But it's this thing where you have ballet, fighting as ballet, basically, that begins happening. As these little foam figures just begin wailing into each other whilst doing these flips and somersaults. Sometimes picking each other up and, holding them for a second as they glide across from foam top to foam top. After a few minutes, it seems they've formed teams. You have the left half of the line preparing to fight the right half of the line. They all kind of get together in a huddle, each team. As they continue doing that, and then they turn and they start somersaulting toward each other with their free hands, each producing items that look kind of like tiny switchblades. And billy clubs and other weapons. And you see, and some of the switchblades are indeed made of biscotti. Some of the billy clubs are made of like chocolate shavings. And one of them's carrying a scythe. And one of them is carrying something, one of them is carrying what looks like a katana on the other team. And they start to form these strange little sort of acrobatic mountains, and the ones on top are fighting each other. And the bartender will lean over and say, just suggest quietly, oh, yes, this is the point at which it's customary to place bets, should anyone wish to.
I don't know if I can bet on art.
No. No, this is when it's and you see sort of a... See, kind of Elias still sitting there in the corner, the guy with the spiders game, the other weaver. He's just sort of looking over, and he's like, yeah, if you want to get in on anything, it's best to do it now before they take out the ranged weapons.
I look at Mac when he says that he doesn't know how to bet on this thing, and I look like between him and Vor, and I say, are you two okay?
See, Mac is just dabbing his eyes with a handkerchief, and he's just like, I've never seen something so artistic in its culinary expression of raw emotion, and then he just buries his head down in his arm.
Vor just lets out a loud sob into her champagne glass.
Well, The one with the katana has the one with the scythe on the ropes for a while until someone further down his pyramid pulls out what looks like a little foam bazooka, made out of one of those sort of little curly-cued chocolate pieces. And that's pretty much when things get into just something of a free-for-all, as the two pyramids collapse and they start beating each other to a crap. And eventually just kind of settle down into these lumps, which settle and sloth back onto each individual cappuccino top.
So, is it bad form to eat the victor?
It's what I did with the gladiator foam, but I waited right until he was about to win and then ate him. It was delicious.
You have these little four-armed, four-legged corpses of foam lying on top of each cup.
I pick up a cappuccino and just walk away and stare out the window drinking my coffee at the passing darkness.
A lot of trees outside now.
Eventually, Mac will look up and bleary-eyed, and he will just grab his own cup. And then, for whatever reason, he holds up a little object in his hand and flicks it, and it's like a biscotti that he uses to just dip and stir his drink a little bit to, wash away the foam corpses.
Yeah, that helps.
I think once everyone's settled with their coffee, Shaw will come over and put down the book on the table. And be like, well, I don't really want to talk about how that went, if you don't mind. But whichever one of us seems to be the best at getting information out of books, which I guess might be Aroshka, here's the book.
I'm going to take the book and I'm going to, aware that we're in a bar and, maybe people will just think I'm drunk. I'm going to be like, hey, do you know anything about the unwritten?
I'm going to draw another card now.
Oh, dear.
Oh, that's an excellent card. Good. Very good. Yes. That's very, very good. So this is the unwelcome child. It is the... as a reminder, we've had this before. Of course, this is the apprentice of notions. Its meanings are bad luck, imbalance, things undesired, outcasts, and duplicitousness. The unwelcome child, once again, is unwelcome because she is a horror. No one sees her for what she truly is, and they assume that the terrible things that happen around her have other causes. She maintains a facade of sweetness and love, exploiting her own inherent affection for children. She uses our desire to nurture against us. At best, once we have realized her nature, all we can really do is cast her out. Anything more would be wrong, for she is, after all, only a child. The unwelcome child is the apprentice of the notions family and brings them no joy. So, yeah. Yeah, oh, this is you getting something you don't want. Okay. Well, I have thoughts about that. So, the book is... what did you ask the book?
If it knows anything about the unwritten.
All right. Yeah, it's a scroll. Are you quite sure you want to know?
I think it might be important.
This is most strange. Very strange.
Strange?
Oh, yes. Yeah, because you were rather... You were rather upset the first time I told you.
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember a lot of things.
Well, yes. I think that was rather something you said you were going to do. Said you were going to you probably were, now knowing what you knew, you were going to purge it from your mind. Along with probably several other things.
Oh, yeah, like practically everything, actually.
Well, I see that went well then.
Sure, I guess.
See, that is the thing. You told me that if... This is the problem. You told me that if you were ever to come asking about this again, that I shouldn't tell you.
Well, that's fascinating information. I'm just gonna discuss this with my companions for a minute. I'll come back to this conversation, okay?
Very, very well. It's not like I'm going anywhere.
All right, thanks. I'd offer to buy you a drink, but you are a book.
Yes, no, that would not be good, at all. This
All right.
environment is not good for me.
Well, I'll just tuck you somewhere safe.
Thank you.
I'm gonna turn to everybody and be like, so apparently I've done this before. And the book says I told it not to tell me if I asked it again.
Oh, we kind of need to know, though.
Well, that's a shock.
Apparently, knowing this might be the reason that I erased all of my memories. It's news to me that that's a thing that I did to me.
But we all have memories that we're missing. It's not just you.
Oh,
Did you erase all of our memories?
No, well, I don't think so. Well, no, but I'm not missing some memories. I forgot basically everything.
Well, maybe if you don't ask, but one of us asks, then it can tell us.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to know, I mean,
Maybe you could use the book like a card catalog and just ask it where in the scroll we're supposed to look to find the thing you don't want to know.
and then one
And
of
then
us
one
can
of us-
read it.
Yeah. And then you won't know. And if it seems like something you don't want to know, we won't tell you. And if it seems like maybe circumstances have changed with, the impending end of the world and things like that, that maybe you might want to know.
That's true. I'm gonna see if it's not written somewhere. There's another option. I'm gonna pull the book back out again and be like, so, well, I totally believe you that I asked in the past for you not to tell me. It's really important that we know this information now, apparently, because we don't want the world to end. And world ending, you might agree, is bad.
Oh, that again?
Again.
My goodness, I can't count how many times it's ended at this point. It's been so long.
Oh, the book says the world has ended a bunch of times. That's fascinating. All right, well.
Big mood book. Big mood.
I know, right?
So if past me said that I don't want to know this information, we were wondering if it's like, is it written somewhere in you, and I could just like show it to someone else?
I'm not. It's not like I'm not a sphinx. It's not like this is a thing you have to trick the rules or something.
But no, we're just trying to find a way that I don't find out.
I see. Well, it's. Yes, it's the one can perhaps decipher it if one reads through, if one speaks the language.
What language are you written in?
Ah. Crap. I gotta open this thing real quick because Jim needs to grab a word that he does not know off the top of his head. That is a setting thing. One moment. Yeah. Just gotta find. There is a specific language this is. And I need to. I am trying to remember. Okay, so let's. I'll give you the context, and that'll help us figure it out. I don't have the word right in my head right now, unfortunately. But the language the language that so you asked the book verbally this, right?
Yeah.
What language it is? It's the language of the ones that came before the humans.
Oh. I'm just gonna turn to everybody and be like, I don't suppose anybody reads pre-human language. I'll take that as a no. Well, other option, I'm saying this to everybody, including the book, I have a thing. It's a level 8 spell, so it's like a, yeah. But I can make the book able to talk. I can, like, it will actually, like, it says, I convince it to take on the burden of ambulatory intelligent life, and among other things, it gains the ability to speak aloud. And it could just talk to someone who isn't me.
We could do that.
Forever?
It's
You
in
can also-
Arabast.
No,
Arabast is the word I was looking for.
Arabast. It says at any time the living object can revert to its original form as the inanimate object it once was, if it so chooses. So it can, I think, be ambulatory for the rest of forever if it wants to be, but it doesn't have to be.
I might be able to read the dream or the book while I sleep, but I'd have to test it out.
We could give that a
Well,
go too.
Another option. You could read it, Oroshka, and then I could take the memory.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have it anymore.
Do that. Is that a little easier than me bringing the book to life? It's not hard to be easier than that.
I'm just throwing out other options for the group to discuss. Personally, I see no problem bringing the book to life as long as the book doesn't try to get away.
I suppose it also depends on whether or not the book wants to be brought to life, because I have to convince it that it wishes to be ambulatory and intelligent.
Well, you could attempt to convince it, and if we're not able to convince it, then we can use my idea as a backup plan.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like if you didn't want to know it before, you made yourself forget, but forget a lot of other things too.
Yeah. All right, let's give it a go. So Jim, this is one of my forte abilities. It's level 8.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say anything about like rolling to see if it'll work.
If it's with the object's consent, you shouldn't have to roll.
So, just so that I will have the thing, just so that I'll have the thing in front of me.
I can also here. I can just copy pasta the description for you. There you go.
Ah, delightful. Yes, good, good.
It's called Life to the Lifeless.
Although not everyone will be able to understand it, interestingly. Limbs, eyes, a mouth to speak, and anything else it might require, but otherwise it operates on its shape and nature.
Gross.
I think it does mean you have to decide what an ambulatory book looks like.
Oh, no, that's fine. I know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be horrifying because it's going to be a live-action version of this. Yeah, so do you... So you want to try to convince the book that this is a good idea?
Yes.
Okay. So what are you telling the book?
I'm gonna be like, all right, look, so it's really important that we as a group know what the unwritten is. But if I told you that I didn't want to know, I'm just gonna believe you / also past me. But if you want, you could tell somebody else.
Well, I could, I suppose. If I mean, that would still be. I mean, the thing is, would you think they'll be all right if I tell them? Because you didn't seem to be.
Well, that feels like a bridge that we can cross when we come to it. I have made everybody aware that this is apparently information that I hated so much that I erased all of my memories. So it's not like they're not informed. Plus, possibly we can just erase more memories if we need to.
Well, I would not want to cause anyone additional harm in that respect. I didn't really care so much in the old days, but I found that I'm so rarely looked upon that I worry that if I'm only looked upon to cause pain, then it's perhaps best I'm not looked upon. I don't know. Not that I want to go back into the darkness, but...
Okay. Well, we're going to discuss this with the rest of the group. The book is really concerned that if he tells anyone that they're going to hate it, and doesn't want to cause anybody harm by telling them something that they would hate to know.
I mean, it's not the book's fault. No one's gonna blame the book. We're asking.
That's what I said.
I mean, this is important. We wouldn't be asking if it wasn't important. Maybe you should tell the book that we're trying to tell it a little bit about this ritual that we're trying to prevent, and see if that changes its mind.
Okay, so I'm going to explain to the book specifically, like, what we need this information for, and I'm also going to be like, and you know, maybe because you know more about this than we do, if there's like some other information we could use in the same way, we could hear that instead.
Is there a way you could get the book to talk to us?
Oh, that's what I'm trying to convince it to
I
do,
mean-
but it
I
does
mean-
it doesn't want to hurt anybody.
I mean, perhaps, just maybe we could try and convince it.
Oh, that's true. Does the book understand other people? I
Yeah.
assume it doesn't, or does it?
Kind of. Yeah.
Well,
it would give it a chance to try to convince us.
it's true. So I'm gonna tell the book. I'm gonna be like, look, if I make it so that you can talk, then you can talk it out with everybody and not just me as like a weird go-between. And then you could make a decision based on that. And if you want to go back to being just a book, that's also possible afterwards.
Well, I mean, that sounds rather unusual. I mean, it's if you want me to talk to them, I suppose I can. But I just want to. I don't know. I don't know what precisely what good will come of this. But if you think it will help, certainly.
Okay, then. I guess I'll make the book into a walking, talking book.
Okay. So yes, he will. They will. You basically will. What does this look like when you perform this upon the book?
That's an excellent question. I don't know. I kind of just imagine you like having a brief conversation with the book, and then the book like, sprouting legs and eyes, etc., etc.
It just sort of happens.
Very creepy.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm writing an epic real quick whilst this is going on, just in case you actually get told it. Okay. So, this you have this situation where the thing kind of the scroll turns on its side and then goes in tight.
Thanks.
It seems to unfurl, sit up, and this looks not unlike, and just sort of a couple of these letters on its top page, its top area, because it's not fully unrolled, right? It's just the top portion of it. Seem to these ancient letters open like eyes, and then the parchment cracks as though and creates a mouth, and it slowly sprouts forth these wooden legs that are kind of like the rollers. From the bottom roller, the top roller develops arms, and also inexplicably a cane that it uses to stand up. And you're now looking in horror upon what apparently is a live-action elderly scroll version of one of those Schoolhouse Rock bills.
Matt just rubs his eyes, sips his cappuccino, and goes, am I still drunk?
You don't see that every day.
Oh. I feel like I'm
Anyways,
forgetting
now
something.
you can talk to the scroll too.
Looks around at everyone. The
Do you want a
bartender
cappuccino?
slowly begins pulling a couple of mugs away and just begins backing toward the, the back of the bar.
I take one of the cappuccino mugs before the bartender takes them all, and I set it in front of it and pull up a chair so that this girl can have like a spot.
So, Corian is covering Unger's eyes and sort of moving back, slowly putting Unger into his pocket. The angel just sort of glances over and it's like,
So,
this is unusual. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Oh yes, you're quite loud.
Ah, good. I don't think what I have is something you want. Not really.
It's not really a question of want so much as it's a question of need.
How so?
Well, I don't know how much Oroshika's told you, but we received this prophecy, something about, looks back at notes. Hold on. Someone who knows of the unwritten and that the unwritten are loose. And this is in connection to various bad things that might be happening in the future. We know there's a ritual that might be taking place on this train at some point, which will bring some kind of dark blessing, which just sounds ominous. So we really need to know what we're up against here. If we don't, we might be worse off.
See, Jim is trying to hold on to, okay. What is the source of this prophecy?
There was a seer in the garden car.
Yeah. Are we on a train?
We are on a train.
You were in a frog, but now you're on a train.
You have to return you to the frog at some point.
Oh, I see. Ah, okay. All right. The portal. Okay, yes, I understand. What is going to happen according to this prophecy?
Well, it's a bit vague. It just, we know, beware the rattlesnake. She knows of the unwritten. The encroaching ice falls on the train. She shall strike. That's.
It just seems bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of words in there I don't like. Things like encroaching and strike and rattlesnake.
And beware.
And beware.
And it's not the first time we've heard about the unwritten. It seems to be a thing that is continuously coming up for us.
Correct. My mentor brought it up in a note not long ago as well.
Related to what, if I may ask?
It was related to something, some conversation she had had with her elegance of the gold.
Oh.
Is there a reason why you don't seem to want to tell us about this, or?
I found it. It was the note from my mentor was the capstone has come off, the unwritten are loose.
Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, that's not good.
Which is something that her elegance told my mentor.
Yes, yes, she probably would have the ability to see that. Okay.
So,
He
given
turned-
all of that,
He just sort of turns to sort of look at Eroshka. I thought you said it was going to hold.
Well, current me that forgot literally everything has no idea. So I might have said that, and it was apparently wrong.
Just sort of will be thinking for a moment.
Can I cast something while he's thinking?
What would you like to cast?
Thinking? Oh, a little spell I've been using called Valuable Acquaintance.
What was it again?
Valuable Acquaintance.
Valuable acquaintance.
Yes.
Oh, you want to make him talk?
I'm getting a lot of use out of this spell. I think I have to roll for it.
Okay, so
It gives me a +1 die, it says.
yeah. So this scroll, because of what this scroll is, the challenge on this is going to be 8.
Eight.
it says in Arosha's spell the creature is 2 levels lower than the abilities level.
Oh, it is. Oh, that's right. It's a 6 level. Oh, that's true. The creature is. That's an interesting. That is an interesting question then. Okay, we'll go with we'll actually. Yeah, it's interesting because there are special qualities about this scroll in particular, though. So there's like. It's a good question. So I would say under ordinary circumstances the difficulty would probably be 6 if it were like, if you were trying to cast this on anything that she had done this to. We'll say that with everything else though that's been going on, we'll go ahead and go with 6. We'll
6.
we'll say that it's thus far it's considering telling you. So we'll say that your challenge will be 6.
Would my searching skill help with this? So I have 3 skills on it, like searching, understanding people's motives, and magical lore. Those might help.
Those last two will help. Searching, I don't think so much.
Okay.
Not in this context.
So 4. And just D10. Right, 2D10.
Yeah, so it'd be 2d10, and thus far, as I can tell, you're knocked down to what, a 4 at this point?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, and so you can do others. Do you want to do anything else, or just go with 4s?
Can I contribute with a skill to help Sean to know?
What would you like to do?
Like, I would like to sort of distract the book while he's casting the spell using my charm skill.
Okay. Yes. What do you say to the book?
So, I'll get out the actual note from Lady Volt and show it to the scroll and be like, look, this has to be very serious. Lady Volt is a very important person. There's no way she would have passed this on to me if it wasn't terribly, terribly important for us to deal with in some fashion. I mean, we've been through a lot lately. We've managed, and I'll just start like recounting all of the actual plot related things we've done, like our related to Limerence Street and like getting the street back and
Okay.
Skipping all the glorious foods.
So that will.
Yeah, skipping the food, which we know is the real reason we're here.
So that will help. So that will knock it down further.
That's to a 3. I think I'm going to try it at a 3.
All right. You get 2 dice.
All right, 2d10.
Okay, the second one succeeded. It's not flux because that was the first die that you rolled the 10 on. So the book is just sort of, yes, I see what you have it there. It's very difficult because I really don't want to cause another civilization to fall. It's happened twice now, and if it happens a third time, then I shall just be terribly disappointed in myself for allowing that information to get out. Do they really? Here's the thing. It's that they
sorry to interject, but things always come in threes, and I think we just gotta go with it.
And as he just sort of, as the scroll is just sort of looking over, they're saying, well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what, I will give you the passage in your tongue and let you see if you can sort it out. Would that be sufficient?
Well, that's certainly better than nothing, so we appreciate it very much.
Because the last time to be perfectly honest, I don't want to damage anyone any further. But
completely understand.
So direct knowledge of this, as I say, is very difficult. But it goes like this, as best I can translate. And lo, the hunter sailed out beyond all that was known, and knew they must find the impossible. They sailed toward the thread of what could be, and found it at the horizon's end. They reached into the water, grasped, and pulled upon it. And thereupon they saw the place where the possible met the impossible, left their boat, and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour, many a day, but was not certain how many. The world seemed to curl around them in impossible ways. And finally, when they were so tired, they came to crawling. Then, and only then, they crossed the edge of paradox. And there they found that which was unwritten.
I feel like there's this very serious silence for a while, and then Shaw goes, I don't get it. And the rest for a cappuccino and gets up and walks over to the bar.
Would any of this sound vaguely familiar to what I've been researching?
Well, you haven't really had time to read through the book you just got yet.
Yeah.
So not as such, but it occurs to you that it might be worth looking through.
Okay.
When you get a chance to sort of see if something like that is connected. There's a certain resonance with what you have been reading.
That's quite the fable. I mean, definitely sounds something we need to look into.
To wonder how much of it is literal and how much of it is metaphor and hyperbole.
See, the difficulty is when he comes back in the next passage, he ends the world. So it's
Ends the world.
bit of a puzzle. Yeah. Hard to say whether it's literal or figurative.
Well, you did say the world has ended many times, right?
Yes, that it has. I wasn't around when these events took place, of course. So I can't say.
Do you remember the last time the world ended?
Aha. Yes. Very specifically. And he just sort of looks, he just sort of is looking at you.
Was I involved?
I must say, I suppose I do not find it surprising that you do not remember.
Well, I mean, we did have a discussion about how apparently I just erased all of my memories of basically everything. Did it have anything to do with the war that no one can really talk about?
Well, I believe so. I didn't really get to see much of that, so I don't know what was going on with all of that. But it's a thing that people were concerned about, and then it happened. And I had only assumed that you did not act on my warning.
I don't know.
What was the warning?
I said, don't try it.
I mean, there's a really good chance that I did try it.
Oh, well, yeah, I think there's probably a very good chance of that, yes.
Tracks.
See you now.
Be more specific about what it is?
I start talking more about that, then that's going to be a problem.
How so?
Well, it's hard to hold such things inside a human mind. A sentient mind of most kinds, really, to be honest. I only grasp it because I have somewhat of a different perspective. And also I don't think about it too much, if I can possibly help it.
Is there anything else you can tell us about what the unwritten actually is or are? The parable is lovely, but not particularly descriptive.
Well, let us say that the best I think I can tell you without risking your sanity is that when they're on the wrong side of paradox, they're what I think we would call bad news.
By they, you mean the unwritten?
Yes.
Well,
I
it
don't
sounds like that may be the case.
If they're out, and that's a problem, I don't understand how you're keeping us safe by not letting us know anything that we could know to protect ourselves.
I don't know that it. I don't know that it would actually make much of a difference for your protection.
And what difference
I
would
don't
it make?
want to, but But at the same time, it's not the kind of thing it's easy to carry around.
What if you gave a piece of it to each of us?
In case of emergency, assemble puzzle. That kind of thing. Then I suspect the world would end again.
I mean, it's happened before. We're all still here, kind of.
So you're saying that we need to know about the unwritten in order to protect the world from them, but if we know about the unwritten, we'll end the world again?
I did say it is rather a conundrum.
Does the world end because we don't know what else to do about the unwritten?
Well, see, the thing is that it's a difficulty, right? Because I didn't see directly what happened last time, but I do know that the last time I let that knowledge out, the world ended.
Can I try to read his mind?
You can try. It's a difficulty of 6.
So does the spell's level count against the difficulty, or no?
I think that it does, if I am remembering correctly.
Okay, so this is difficulty 2.
It's a level 4 spell?
I meant to say my spell is level 2.
Spell is level 2, okay, so it drops it to a 4.
Become difficulty 4, yes. Yeah. Looking to see if there's anything else here that I would find particularly helpful to try to do this, but I don't. Well, maybe my skill in understanding magic that lies outside codified practices? Question mark?
Oh, this lies outside codified practices, most definitely.
Down to a 3. And I have 2 die.
Mm-hmm.
There's a verse up in here.
So I'll bring it down to like 3. Right?
Oh, those scary 10s.
Yay! Okay. So... Okay, he's thinking about the unwritten.
What could go wrong?
So,
I'm going to pick his brain, literally.
how does one hold on to one's sanity in this system? One wonders. Okay. So... It is very difficult for me to convey what this feels like.
Okay.
Because I have to express it using words formed from a human brain. The closest I think I can come to it is... So do you remember the first time you ever saw like an Escher painting or a... or like an Ouroboros
Yeah.
Mobius strip.
Mm-hmm.
And basically a thing that folds back in on itself. This is kind of, in some ways, this concept is kind of the equivalent of that. Because it involves a thing being both possible and impossible at the same time.
Okay.
You're getting... One way I might express this is if it's kind of like falling into an ocean of equations. And then trying to swim from an ocean of possible equations to impossible equations. This is in many ways sort of the mental equivalent of that.
Okay.
It's like gripping. There is the need to grip to the edge of anything that is certain, because it's kind of like being shown that nothing is true.
I feel like now's a good time to remind you that Vor is capable of convincing herself that things that aren't real actually are real.
This may be why you're able to hold on. So, yeah, this could be this would be a thing that would involve getting hit with a mental getting hit with mental damage. I forgot there is mental damage in this system.
There is.
So it's like there are steps though that lead you toward a full wound, right? It's like you can take like what, 3 of them or something, and
Yeah, I think it's 3 wounds become an anguish.
Okay. So yeah, there's if you want to. So let me put it to you this way: you have an opportunity to understand a piece of this.
Yep.
But it will cost a mental wound.
You can heal wounds over time, right?
Yes, you can.
You can.
All right.
You can negate it with intellect, so you just have to lose intellect.
It's just like to lose 1 intellect, Benny. Oh, well, I don't have any. Never mind. That's okay. I'll take the wound, knowing that I can try to heal it later, to try to understand some of this.
Okay. Last time I think something like this happened, it took a couple of days. I'm trying to remember clearly, but you've still got a couple of days on this train ride, so. There is a okay. So outside of what exists, there's this concept you may have read about called the void. A way to shorthand it would be to say kind of like the unwritten come from the void.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, it's like they are kind of living concepts that were never imagined because it is beyond the capacity of a being that has to function in this reality. In sort of the... I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is some eldritch horror kind of...
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
This is an unknowable thing that you're kind of getting a little glimpse into here. because it's simply the idea that basically it brings forth the idea that anything that no one has thought of can potentially, if it crosses from one side of paradox to the other, it can come for you and do pretty much whatever it damn well pleases.
Cool. So it can basically anything that is possible but you have never thought of or would not fit in our reality, it can bring to bear.
Yes.
So bad news. Just with more words.
Yeah. And the problem, of course, being that you've witnessed a few things recently that apparently shouldn't be possible, and you're starting to realize, to an extent, how those things might exist.
Yeah.
It is the idea, the incredibly dangerous, but also perhaps incredibly ambitious idea of trying to harness the unwritten.
All right.
Where do you start, right?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, this probably looks like Vor just like closes her eyes for a moment in the middle of the conversation. I feel like she probably turns and throws up into a potted plant. Because she's already kind of drunk, and then this is a lot to take in. But honestly, probably being drunk helps, to be perfectly frank.
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, she just like turns and throws up in the potted plant, and she's like, "Whoa, maybe I shouldn't do that."
Oh my gosh, are you okay?
Yeah,
I'll get you a water.
that would be good.
Oh.
One thing I will mention to you that you also did grasp just before you pulled out of there was that apparently the book does have some insight into how to do it.
How to do
Just a little bit.
how to do the
How to
same
harness.
thing written can do.
How to harness but how to a thing that might make it, the thing that might theoretically make it possible to harness the unwritten, a way to get at them.
Can I stay in his head for a little bit longer? Because it says the telepathic link lasts as long as I concentrate and do nothing else.
I feel I mean, if you want to risk additional mental wounds, then certainly.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'll stop the link for now. Yeah, I took a little bit of a whammy there.
Okay. I think that is this normally yeah. So I think upon seeing your reaction, hang on a second. I have to find a thing real quick. actually, yeah. Yeah. So, sorry, I was distracted for a moment there. I had to remember a thing and use the part of the brain that I needed otherwise for other things. What was the question? There was a question of some kind, or a thing.
No, I just
no.
said that
Oh right, no, I remember now. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think the book kind of is upon seeing you throw up, just kind of suddenly. The book will just sort of look up and says, "Are you doing what I think you're doing?"
That depends on what you think I'm doing. Right now, I'm getting sick.
Right. Some boundaries are not meant to be crossed. And with that, he collapses back into a scroll.
Seems fair. After he says that, though, I look at Arushka and I'm like, runs in the family, I guess.
I'm apparently really good at crossing boundaries. Book a friend. I don't know what happened, but I'm sorry about it. So I guess if that's all,
This is
you
very
don't
much how you reacted.
What, me? Oh, well, she's my cousin. Did you, since apparently you decided not to talk with us, did you want to go back to the library?
I come back with a glass of water and set it in front of Vor and say, "Oh, I don't think you should try to catch up with Mac quite that fast." Like, I just pat her on the back and hand her the glass of water, and then I look at the scroll and I'm like, "Well, where did they go?"
Apparently we offended it. I'm trying to see if it wants to go back to the library. Because I don't think it wants to talk
back
to
in
us
the
anymore.
library.
Oh, well, Scroll, my friend here, thinks that maybe it isn't super safe for you to go back to the library. Is there anywhere else you might want to go?
I don't know.
Shaw
Seems
sits
like
down
wherever
and
I
says,
go, I'm going to cause death and destruction. Perhaps I should just go. Perhaps you should just take me up to the front of this contraption and just throw me in the furnace.
I mean, I don't really want to do that. But I guess I will if you really want me to. Ooh.
And the book is the book doesn't seem to know what to say. It just sort of sits there morosely.
I think it's at that point that Max sort of sits up and blinks, and his eyes are wide open. Says, "Okay, I remember now. So while you guys were in the library, Super Justice Angel and I found out what the Church of Midnight are doing. And I think we need to go and mess that up before we get back to this whole thing with that book and the unwritten and stuff.
What are they doing?
Oh,
I
they
mean,
got
aside
this
from
really...
throwing someone off a train.
Well, I think it's a little more complicated than that because they've got this big whole honkin' ritual going on in their sleeping cars. Like urns and runes and all sorts of workings that we're probably going to need to interrupt.
Do you know what it's
Kick in
for?
the door and knock over the urns.
Well, yes, but I don't think they're just going to let us do that.
Well, of course not.
Do you know what the ritual is in order to do?
I didn't really quite get it. As you know, I usually let spirits do all the hard work for me. Super Justice Angel, do you remember what the little wee guy said about the ritual?
He said that it was in the, they had set it up in the boxcar. And that he tried to get the urn. He tried to get the urn and wasn't able to get close enough. They had some kind of warding or something around it.
Well, I don't think that's just too bad, because if there's anything this group knows how to do, it's how to blow shit up.
I'm apparently really good at fucking things up.
Why are the wheels of the train shouting at me?
Oh, you've already hit that point where you're dealing with your hangover.
Sounds like bedtime.
Yeah, especially since our bar tabs run out.
Hey,
He checks the watch, it's past midnight, so...
The bartender just sort of is sitting there, clutching a bottle, just staring in horror.
if what they're doing is in the sleeper cars, is it okay for us to go to sleep right now?
Well, when was the ritual supposed to happen? After they throw the person from the train, right?
No, I think they said that it was probably going to go down in... what time is it now?
Midnight.
Midnight? I think we've got maybe 8 hours.
Well, since it doesn't sound like we know enough to actually have a plan, it seems like maybe we should take a nap in lieu of a plan.
That is the plan. Napping.
I don't know that that's gonna make things better.
Well, you
No.
seem like you should probably take a nap, dear.
I'm fine. More just like puts her head down on the table. She's like, just give me a minute. I did a thing that maybe I shouldn't have done.
Oh, I thought you just drank too much whiskey.
No, I. She like gestures toward her head and then points at the book.
She
Wait,
tried to read the book's mind.
No, I think she succeeded in reading the book's mind. I think that's why the book decided not to talk to us anymore.
Oh, so you know all the things.
I wouldn't say I know all the things. I know some things. They're not particularly pleasant things. Honestly, I mean, I don't know if I could express them to you even if I wanted to.
I mean, what we could do in the meantime then is we could probably just kidnap one of the Church of Midnight folks, and then Vor can do her mind reading thing, and we can figure out what's going on, and then
I could do that.
Sounds reasonable.
Sorry.
Or if we can find a car, I can tell them. I might be able to get them to disrupt their own ritual.
This all sounds like things that should come after a nap.
If we're sure we have that kind of time.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I mean,
Well,
the worst that could happen is that it could succeed, I'd say.
Oh.
Could it be any worse than what you've done in the past, Roshka?
You know, probably not, but nevertheless.
I like how Aroshka is like offended, like, you're not on my level. Be real.
Apparently, I've done a lot of really shitty things.
I mean, the worst thing that could happen is we wake up from our nap with our bodies not intact, strewn somewhere across the.
Will they throw us off the
countryside.
train?
I mean, that just
Yeah.
sounds like another day for me.
Or we just wake up.
Or we just don't wake up, in which case, then our problems about the whole unwritten thing are pretty much resolved.
Are they? I feel like the Pale probably has as much of a problem with this as everywhere
That's
else.
true. We'd just then be dead with problems.
I don't know that dying really solves anything.
Not from what I've heard.
I have this thing called responsibility now with the whole Jenga tower. And, supposed to be, I suppose that dying would kind of violate my agreement with the foreman.
Yeah.
Responsibility is a terrible burden. Why do we have to be responsible for all this stuff all of a sudden?
I don't know. I don't like being responsible for things.
Mac is just looking pointedly at Shaw. You're the most responsible of us 5 or so. What do you have to say for yourself?
I've never not felt responsible for everything. I mean, maybe you just were responsible for things and you just weren't paying attention.
I mean, I guess at the very least you had to be responsible for yourself.
That doesn't sound right at all.
I mean, you're responsible for those spirits that you're vesseling, and you're responsible for your everything.
Yeah, but that's all like easy stuff. Now we have to start making decisions.
Yeah, Shaw, make a decision.
A decision.
I
How
feel
long
like
do we
you-
have to? Huh?
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like you're the one that has the most information of all of us
That's
right
true.
now.
But it's not relevant to this, I don't think. Not directly.
I think we need Vor in order to do this thing. And I think she doesn't look very good, and I think we need to make her feel better before we do the thing, whatever it
we're-
is. Unless we have to do the thing right now, in which case we'll just limp through the thing.
So are we back to plan nap?
I think we might be back to plan like quick nap.
Power nap.
Mac,
Power.
Mac, your friend, the nice raven thing.
I'm right here.
Yeah, can you like fly around and see where the Church of Midnight people are and let us know how much time we have?
Yeah, sure.
Hey. He's
What?
my
Thank
familiar.
you.
Oh, sorry, boss.
You go fly around and figure out how much time we have left.
Okay, sure thing.
Max just wanted to be the one to say it.
Meantime, Vor just slips off of her chair to the floor and curls up in a ball.
Oh no. Here, you should drink some more of your champagne. That might help.
Oh, thank you.
No,
Or just
no,
like makes it.
no, wait.
She just wraps her arms around it like it's like a bear, like a teddy bear.
Oh.
After a minute, you hear like light snoring coming from the floor.
Very concerned.
I mean, I did take an injury.
Mac just looks down at those like, man, I wish I had somebody like that. He's just
Somebody
staring
like
at the
Those
like the
champagne
champagne.
glass.
Okay, we'll go with the nap, but after we resolve things, I want like a nice brunch.
Jim, I feel like I should get a bond with my champagne flute.
Arushka vaguely hears the champagne flute going like, "It's okay. It'll be all right. Would you like some more champagne?"
Oh, like, don't give any more champagne right now. Wait till later.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I could
Champagne
totally give her more
everything.
champagne right
I
now.
know, but her brain hurts. I don't think it'll help. It'll make it hurt more.
I'd offer. Would you like some champagne?
Yeah. I didn't want to take you away.
It is going to be a little difficult. You're going to have to just sort of stand up above her head, and I'm going to have to aim carefully.
You know what? Maybe next time.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by the discovery that the champagne flute can propel champagne out of the glass. Please tell more about this later. She will use it for party tricks.
Decanter of endless champagne.
But you wake up and we're like, so I have a plan. It involves your champagne glass. Apparently, it shoots champagne.
I just have this beautiful mental image now of Vor in a fight with her sword cane and the champagne flute, and she's just firing champagne out of.
It's a champagne gun.
I mean, it's also alcohol, so it's flammable. Ergo, the flaming sword.
Champagne's kind of hard to set on fire, but
Things you thought you'd never have to say.
yeah, it's fair. Knowledge I never realized I'd have to call on. Anyway. Sagan will come flapping back, by the way. And he'll land on Mac's shoulder. Be like, yeah, so they're actually one of them's still kind of up chanting, the other two are asleep right now, and the other's kind of on watch. So it looks like it's going to be a while. They're probably not going to do whatever they're going to do until they're all awake. They're probably taking turns, looks like.
So, I guess Operation Nap is a go.
We're being responsible adults. We're getting rest before we fight with people.
I, the player, am fine with charging in willy-nilly, but I also, metagaming, think that maybe we should go in with all of our pools.
Yeah. Yeah, I did sort of spend like all of my magic to talk to that book.
Yeah,
I
like
have
he has
used
no
both
injuries.
my I have used both my quick refreshes. So
I feel like having 3 left is perfectly adequate.
So do we have our own space in the sleeper car, or we didn't get it?
You have private cars, as I recall.
Yeah.
Someone sprang for that on the tickets, I think.
I think I did.
I think
Oh,
you've
cool.
got like 3 cars, if I remember right.
Go to our cars, plural. Vor is wake upable enough to walk to a different place
Yeah.
and
I
then
can't.
go back to sleep.
I can't remember who is doubled up with whom. Oh, Mac and Shaw are roommates. I remember that. And then I think, trying to remember if it was like,
And I know Shantano got a single.
yeah.
That makes sense. Aroshka and Vor
Yeah,
family.
and so Aroshka and Vor are together, I think. Yeah. So you're gonna go and retire for the night?
Seems like
Guess so.
Yeah.
at least for a couple of hours anyway, so we can get.
Sure.
Retire, and if there's any extra time, Shantano's gonna start reading the book.
I don't need sleep. I just need information.
No, they're definitely gonna get some sleep.
Okay. Sleep first or book first?
Sleep first.
Sleep first. Okay. All right. As you all go dozing off, I think that is where we're going to bring this session to an end.
Although I don't know how this could. I could technically dream study while sleeping.
You could. That's true. You have that option.
That sounds very efficient.
So 3 of you have drifted into perhaps fitful or perhaps okay sleeps in your own private cars, which means it's much easier than if you were in the sleeper car. Whilst Shantano drifts into a sleep study.
Studious, a very studious sleep.
A very studious sleep. And Vor drifts into a sleep that is
Nightmare,
possibly
probably.
tinged with horrible, horrible nightmares.
Yeah, there's probably nightmares happening for sure.
Awesome. Okay. Well then, there we are. We have once again come to the end of this session. I shall go through the ritual of joy and despair. And I shall go around and ask if anyone feels as though they have gotten either of those things this time. So, Djinnaya, do you think Shah got joy or despair today?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. It was mostly, today was one long conversation. That was mostly what this one was, which,
I mean, we found out a lot of stuff, though.
yeah.
So I just don't
True.
think that any of the stuff that we found out was particularly joy or despair.
Yeah, yeah. That's fair, that's fair.
I mean, it would probably be despair if Shaw grasped it, but she would have to sit down and think deeply
And
about
actually,
something,
like,
which is
wait a
not
minute.
really her style.
Yeah. Okay, Wilde, do you think Shantano got any joy or despair this time?
Shantano, no, they would not have. I definitely got some joy though from playing again.
Yay! Me too. Absolutely. Real life joy is best joy. Very cool, very cool. And Arras, do you think Aroshka got joy or despair today?
I feel like Aroshka is probably feeling some pretty significant despair, having just discovered that she probably played a not insignificant part in the world ending, question mark.
These things happen.
You know.
Yeah, I guess that would be that would warrant some despair. Yeah. Oops.
Oops.
Anino, do you think Matt got any joy or despair today?
I'm going to say that Matt got despair because hearing that he needs to, at some point, confront Dark-Eyed Manfred sooner rather than later
Yeah.
means that he's actually a little bit scared because he knows he's not ready.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. And then there's also that whole responsibility thing.
The whole the crushing weight of actual, real responsibility.
Not good. Not good.
No. And now he's also thinking about that vision of him versus Dark-Eyed Manfred on the Eternal Stair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which sounds like a place that you would, use to reach the unwritten. But,
Does, doesn't it? Anyway, sorry. I sometimes get struck with premature cackling. Happens every now and then. So, Danielle, do you think Vor got any?
I feel like this is self-explanatory, and I hardly have to say it, but I'm pretty sure that Vor took a despair from reading the book's mind and getting the whammy of learning what the unwritten are capable of / are, and having it be something she could barely wrap her head around.
Yep. That's. Yep. That's despair. That is despair. Fortunately, I will grant you this, that there will come a point. Perhaps I'm being too terribly nice. I don't know, but there will come a point in your dream. There will come a point, probably close to the end of it, a little point of solace, where the mime appears, holds both your hands, and says, "You know it's going to be okay because you can hear me."
Aww. I love it. Vor wakes up the next morning, just like, I wonder where he is.
In all of us.
The true mimes were the concepts we learned along the way. Anyway, let's go ahead and do our outros. We shall go around and feel free once again to say where folks can find you and any final thoughts you had about this session. I'll start typing my P.O. box address in to anyone who wants to mail in complaints. And we shall start going reverse order with Danielle.
Hi everybody, I'm Danielle. I'm at Raconteur on Twitter, where you can catch me tweeting about anything nerdy, basically. Books, movies, TTRPGs, board games, video games, anything of that nature. I don't currently have any other games streaming, although I'm hoping that some will start back soon, so hopefully more on that later. And as far as thoughts go, this was classic Vor doing the things that got her rectified and sent into the gray. So that's good. It's just a return to form, really.
Absolutely. But, it's, got to do what you got to do. Awesome. And now let us head over to Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. Wow. So much soul-bearing happened over fictional drinks tonight. And we were all here for it. I miss playing with everyone on this cast, so I'm really glad that we got to get together again today. Well, looking forward to our next session. In the meantime, you will find me doing pulling a gym and doing a double header tomorrow on the Other Doc channel with Lords of Gossamer and Shadow sometime in the early afternoon. I don't know. Someone just calls me and I show up. That's how it works. And then again at around like 7-ish for our weekly Ghost of Saltmarsh campaign, hosted by Origami Shuriken, who's in the chat. So tune in for that. My character tomorrow is also a drunk, so that should go over pretty well.
That'll be awesome. Excellent. And now let's head over to Arras.
Hello, I'm Arras, or Animus, and you can find me as Animus Panthera or Animus.Panthera practically everywhere, but I'm most active on Twitter. I'm a real-life zoologist, and I love to talk about animals, tabletop gaming, and cosplay. And I'm giving away dice every month. I totally forgot to start this month's dice giveaway, so I'm going to do that after this. So if you want to win free dice, I give away a different set of dice every month, and you should check that out.
Yay! Any final thoughts about this session today?
That was wild. That was a trip. Wow, there was so much plot today.
This is what happens when you open an ancient scroll.
Oh, God.
The thing that I think we can take to some degree of solace from is that Manfred has a copy that is much later and doesn't know all of these things.
Oh, good.
Necessarily.
Oh, good.
But he does have the epic poem. But who knows? Awesome, excellent.
Excellent.
But it's the translation. It's good.
That's true. It's a translation. It's true. It's translated into the Vizsla tongue, so it's hard to say. But now over to Wilde.
Yes, hi, I'm Wilde, or Wilde Engineer, at Wilde Engineer on Twitter. Right now, this is the only game I'm playing, so yeah. Today was a lot of fun. I'm glad to get back and playing with everybody. I think Chantanel's just still questioning whether responsibility really is a necessity.
That's a good question.
I mean, really, the only time people care about responsibilities is after things go bad.
That's right. That's very true. I mean, what's it all about, really? Excellent, excellent. Very pleased to be back, to have everyone back here. And now let us head over to Djinnaya.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya, and I play good games with nice people. And online, or on stream, I do that here, and off stream, I do that a bunch of places, which I don't know, you might end up in if you follow me on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, this game is so weird. Like I enjoyed the starting to reveal the things. And I feel like it's just this endless box where it's like we open a parable and inside there's another parable and inside that parable is another parable. Which is fun. But yeah, it's kind of neat to see it all coming together. And I'm very much looking forward to finally going head to head with the Church of Midnight people.
Yeah, I think this is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be cool. And I am looking forward to it very much. It is a bit of a mystery wrapped in an enigma wrapped in bacon. But sooner or later, you're going to hit actual truth. Sooner or later. And on that day, I will have figured out how the campaign goes. Anyway. But as for me, who am I? I am Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below, once again, to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. Also, as a reminder, that just as I said at the top of the show, we have a couple of wanted to point you at a couple of charities. We've got a donation drive going on with our Sprawl campaign for the Bail Project to help out protesters, so that again, you can click on the little box down below and contribute to that if you so desire. We are Team Phyllis. Then also, I'm just trying in general, just on my own, to sort of raise awareness about Campaign Zero, which puts in a lot of research to try to find ways to end police violence, and they sort of turn that then into prospective legislation, and also try to find points to help out other organizations who are trying to move toward that goal. And so I very much recommend folks checking that out. It's those are things I recommend folks take a look at. But in the meantime, what's happening on this channel? So tomorrow, as previously mentioned, Sunday afternoon, we have a one-shot of Lords of Gossamer and Shadow. Do you like Eternal Staircases? Well, then I think you're going to like Lords of Gossamer and Shadow, because that has a heck of a one in it. It meant in many ways as a spiritual successor to the Amber Diceless RPG. Also, technically, same rules, so it's kind of how it goes. I've been trying to cram pieces of it into my head all day, and we're gonna just throw some ultra powerful immortal people together and see what happens tomorrow, and kind of take it from there. Then, of course, tomorrow evening, Sunday evening, we have our regular Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw, Ghosts of Saltmarsh in Space, run by the wonderful GM Alyssa, our station master. Then on Monday night, I am going to be over on Salty Sweet Games playing in their 5e campaign Strange Invasion, Assault on the Barrier Peaks. On Tuesday nights, we are continuing our short campaign of Casketland. That is our June mini-campaign. It is an occult western, and there's a lot of cannibalism already, and it's only been session 0. So I'm very much looking forward to see how this little campaign arc goes. On Thursday afternoon, I am over on Encounter Roleplay, running Deadlands Noir, Dreams of Dust. It's a Deadlands Noir campaign, 1935, set out in the Dust Bowl region, where we had a lot of revelations last time. There's a lot of stuff going on in this little town that this traveling carnival has come to, and now they got to figure out how to fix it. And then, of course, Thursday evening is our regular campaign of The Sprawl. That is a Powered by the Apocalypse game that is of the cyberpunk genre, run by our guest MC, Brian, whom you will also see in Lords of Gossamer and Shadow tomorrow. And then, of course, Saturday night, 1 week from tonight, potentially, if we can dot all the I's and cross all the T's, more Invisible Sun shall be happening, which shall be glorious, because we get to beat up people from the Church of Midnight and release all of that repressed rage that we've been building up against them. We shall see.
Those jerks are a problem.
They are a bit of a problem. Currently, I do not have any open signups. That's going to change soon. Probably sometime within the next few days, I'm going to open signups at least for next month's short campaign. So look for that soon. Signups for one-shots, I may change a little bit how those are working. I just have to kind of figure out what's happening, and in order to figure out what's happening, I need to take time and talk to people, which means I have to stop going for a few minutes doing the 24/7. Oh God, when's the next? What next game do I have to get ready for situation? So that's a thing, which will hopefully happen soon. But I will let folks know when signups resume for different things. It'll be pretty soon. I got to work out what's happening in the second half of 2020. That's pretty much all that is. But when we hit the end card, we are going to send a raid. I think I'm going to go send a raid to Welcome Party RPG, or Welcome to the Party. Sarah, who is also on in our Sprawl campaign, and who you're going to see again also in Lords of Gossamer and Shadow tomorrow, is running another charity event. She's running a game of Bubblegum Shoe, which is the Gumshoe system, which I've run here before on this channel, and is very cool. It's about young detectives. So I'm going to go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you so desire and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Farewell.